Hey, I'm Sharon Dawn and welcome back to Living with Cancer. So I have HER2 triple positive breast cancer that's metastasized through my bones, and these little videos are just to share with you the experiences of what it's like living with cancer and going through chemo and all the other wonderful things we do and the decisions we make and how we feel about it. So today is about chemo. And I talked a little bit about it in the introduction, and a little bit about the side effects and so forth, but I'll go over it a bit more here and try and fill you in a little bit more about it. Prior to starting chemo, I really had no idea what was entailed. I knew that chemo's like a poison that poisons all the fast-growing cells in your body, which is hair, skin, nails, all sorts of things. And so it doesn't discriminate. It kills everything. So everything that's fast-growing, it kills. So that makes it very tricky to keep your immunity strong because the chemo is killing that too. So I'll talk a little bit more about diet and supplements and what I'm doing in another video. But today I want to just talk about the chemo and what it's like for me. As I said in the radiation video, everybody's different, everybody's cancer's different, everybody's treatment's different, and their side effects are different. And I'd have to say, just with going to the chemo each time and seeing the other people there, I think I'm doing really well in comparison with side effects and so forth. A lot of them seem to have it a lot worse. I do, however, have a pretty strict diet and so forth that I stick to too, and I think that helps. A lot of people with cancer also have type 2 diabetes, or just overweight, or different other health issues, and that must make it so much harder because your body's just got too many things going on. So I think it's really important to get as healthy as you can if you're going to do the chemo, because it is really hard on your system putting all that poison into it and expecting to be well. So what's happening for me is I go to chemo every 3 weeks. So my life is now 3-week intervals for everything. It's, am I on the going, have I just had it? Am I on the down? Am I on the coming up? Am I just due to have it again? And everything that I do in my life at the moment plans around that 3-week cycle. And that will be ongoing for me. I've had now 9 chemo, and I'm due for my 10th one next week. The first 5 were more of a blanket chemo with a Herceptin, and then the second 4 have been a more targeted chemo attached to the Herceptin, which is apparently better for you. It's a newer drug, and so that's what they believe. The downside with this particular drug is it has been shown in the trials that it affects the respiratory system, which is a major concern for me, considering I have the burnt lung and some cancer lesions on my lungs. So they monitor me very tightly on that, and basically I'm supposed to call an ambulance as soon as I get short of breath and go straight to hospital. I get short of breath sometimes, but it only lasts a few minutes. So no, I don't call the ambulance or go to hospital, because it only lasts a few minutes. And that's getting better too, I think. I think I'm getting better on that one. But it's certainly another side effect that you've got to watch out for. So other side effects that we have fun with the chemo is, like I said in the intro video, whatever comes out, however it comes out of you, it burns. It's just, everything burns. It's and you've got to try and get it out of you. And that's been a major struggle for me was, which I was surprised about, was to drink lots of fluid to try and flush it out as quickly as you could. And prior to having the chemo, I was drinking my, 6 to 8 cups green tea a day, plus other stuff, plus 2 liters of water, and so I was drinking a fair amount of fluid. And I started the chemo, and I went right down to I couldn't drink a cup of tea, I couldn't drink a mouthful, I can't drink water. I struggle on so many fluids. I just can't do it. So I've had to change to more eating apples and having yogurts and soups and things like that are more fluid, so that I'm getting my fluids, because I'm really, really struggling with that. And I keep working on that. And the funniest thing is, I've gone from always hating cold drinks, ice cold drinks, to having ice in my drink. So that's really bizarre. The other side effects I've had are, especially under the first chemo, was what I call cardboard mouth, where your mouth swells, it ulcerates, so you get ulcers, you get thrush in your mouth, and your food feels horrible in your mouth and tastes weird. So there was, on the first chemo, the first 5 that I had, I would have days that I couldn't eat a whole lot of foods, because it was just tasted disgusting. And then this new chemo, I haven't had any of that, so that's been great. I haven't had the ulcers in the mouth or my thrush, and the thrush in my mouth. One great tip I was given was, for the ulcers in your mouth, bicarb soda. So they do mouthwashes with that, but you can get the Lifesavers Tingles lollies, and they're made up bicarb soda. And so I would chew on them regularly during the day, and that took away so much of the ulcers in my mouth. So handy to have a pack of those Lifesavers in your purse. They're really good. The other side effects are tiredness. The tiredness is horrific. I used to, go to bed at, 10:30 at night, get up about 6, go for a walk, spend the day, jump out of bed, always be doing stuff, busy, never had nana naps. And that's been my life. And now I'm really lucky if I have a day that I don't have a nana nap, and I'm really lucky if that nana nap's less than 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 hours. Sometimes it takes me even an hour or two to wake up from it. So it takes so much of my day. And I'm hoping when I'm off the chemo that will start coming right. In the readings that I've seen, they say 6 to 12 months to get past the tiredness of chemo. Hoping it'll be a little quicker than that. And I'm hoping that my round next week will be my last chemo. I'm due to get results from CT scan and bone scans to just see if we've had any progress and where we're at. So when I started going to chemo, the first time I went to Latrobe Valley Hospital. They had a nice flash little area there, and they're really good. I was there for, I think, from about 9 o'clock until about 5:45 that night. It was a long day. By the time they make sure that they've got your bloods there, and then set up all your medicines, and then they have to run different drips, and they do the first one a lot slower. So after the first one, the cancer drip was going, the chemo drip was going in at 30 minutes, whereas the first time it was an hour and a half, and for each different thing that I had to have. So it's a long day. I actually prefer going to the Warragul Hospital for my chemo. It's a lot older hospital, and there's not the space or anything. And Stephen comes with me, and he's sort of stuck out on a limb there and that. But the ladies there are so much more fun to be around. They're all about my age group. They only do the cancer ward once a week, whereas the other hospital do it every day. So you get different people. Whereas the Warrigal one, you get the same ladies every time. They're just crazy. They're a lot of fun. They really go out of their way to make it fun for you. So I think atmosphere has a lot to do with it. And if you're lucky enough to get some good nurses, it makes a huge difference. I've noticed that just talking to the different people there and the different side effects, I'm still doing really, really well. Some of them have terrible dysentery and vomiting and so forth, whereas my things are all manageable. So that's where that's at. So the chemo's not to cure the cancer. It doesn't do that. Chemo is to kill the cancer that's already there. It doesn't stop you getting new cancer. It doesn't do anything like that. All it does is designed to do is to kill that cancer that you have right now. So that's where I'm at. And then the Herceptin is to technically keep the triple positive under control, but it doesn't get rid of it. None of it gets rid of it. I'm told that mine is treatable, but not curable. And basically what that means is they can blast me with radiation, then they can blast me with chemo until the point that my body says, whoa, I know how to get around that, and produces cancer anyway, and then that's as far as they can go with you. So really they hold no hope of curing you. So it's in my best interest to find alternative ways to do that, and I choose to do that with diet and supplements and attitude. So that's where I'm at with that. Another fun one with the I always say they're fun because you've got to make fun of it all. Another fun side effect is losing your nails. They go really yucky. I've got a few on my feet that are black and trying to pop off, and these two are bound up, my two little pinkies, just because they're sort of moving. I tell you, the chemo, it's just a joy. It just keeps giving. Anyway, the other thing with the chemo is you have to have your bloods taken 2 days prior every single time. They've got to make sure that you've got the right amount of white blood cells in your body. I actually take vitamin B12 to make sure that my blood's good, because a couple of reasons. I don't want my blood count to be off because that makes me weak. Two, I don't want to be geared up to go to chemo on a Wednesday and I get there and they say they can't do it because my bloods aren't good. And three, if your bloods aren't good, the chemo can actually kill you, which is why they don't give it to you. So, it's really important to know where you're at, and diet is very important with that one. You want to come out of the chemo as healthy as you can. Otherwise, how are you going to do the next step of building your immunity? So the thing I did, because I had to have these put catheters in my arm every time, and for bloods and for chemo, I ended up getting a port put in. So let me just see if there we go. It's under the skin, and it's a thing up into my vein here. It's so attractive. And that's what they do, is they put the needle straight into that, and they can get the blood out of it, and they also put the chemo straight into that. So it saves them trying to have to find the vein on my arm. And the reason I did that was because last year I'd had the mastectomy and some lymph nodes taken out, which means they can't do that side. They won't take blood on my left side because they're concerned of other side effects. And then when they're taking it on the right side, they've only got 1 or 2 shots of getting it right, because they can't go in and put it up here, for example, and then not do it and then go and put it down in your hand or your arm, because then you'll have a hole up here and the chemo will leak out. So to save a lot of drama and pain, I got the port put in, and it was worth doing. It's a bit annoying when you go through airports now, because it's like having a pacemaker. You got to declare it and so forth, but it's all just part and parcel. So that's where I'm at with the chemo. Hopefully next week's my last one. I haven't told my oncologist that's my thought yet, but I feel in myself I need a break. So we'll see how that discussion goes next week after I've got my test results as well. So that's chemo for you, and I think that'll do us on that topic for today. So if you're going through chemo, good luck. Like I said, be nice to yourself, love yourself. If you need to sleep, sleep. Don't try and be brave. Don't try and be a hero in this. Just if your body needs something, if you need to be sick, be sick. If you need to, whatever you need to do, do it. If your body will guide you as best it can on what to do to feel better in yourself. So really try and listen to yourself and get clear on what will support you. And like I said, with mine, it changes all the time, what I can eat and how it affects me and so forth, and the different chemos change that as well. Keep adapting, keep going. You want to win this one. So best of luck with it. And I'll talk to you on the next video.